but I was able to lose like 60 pounds in 6 months. So I was
Wow.
losing like 2 pounds to like 1 pound a week.
Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching A Healthy Alternative. Today we have a special guest. Coach Jasmine is here to talk to us about her health and wellness journey. She's going to be bringing an outside perspective, telling us what, basically, let's look at her story. What happened? What motivated her to want to make change? And how ultimately she got that change and what she's learned. She's here to share with the community. So I'm so excited to have you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. It is a pleasure. So we were just talking. Right now, it's December. It's the end of December, so we're getting to the end of the year. It's winter time where you live. It's winter time where I live, and this weather is crazy. But it's a little bit warmer today.
Thank you. Just a little bit, but I'm still gonna get out and get me some air though. I'm gonna still take me a walk today though. I don't care. I gotta get out in nature.
That's part of your regimen. You walk and run every day.
I don't run. I don't run, but I definitely try to get me a nice walk in. I love to walk. I love to be out in nature. So I try to at least a couple days out the week get some walking in besides my regimen that I do.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I don't run either. Never have liked running.
Yeah.
I used to play basketball and stuff, so I ran,
Oh,
but I don't like. I've never gotten into the running.
oh,
All right.
me.
So I wanted to first go back in time, if you will, and look at what were some of the things that were going on in your life before you became your current self.
Mhm.
Like what were some of the issues that you were dealing with, and maybe where was your mental state during this time as well?
Well, before I got to who I was, I can say I had very low self esteem. I had bad acne, I had high blood pressure, and I was young. Well, I'm still young, but I was young at the time. So I was like 28, like around, but my weight has always kind of like been up and down, but for the most part, I really was like just mentally, I didn't really know who I was, knew what or even know what my purpose even was.
Mm,
And so I kind of like, battled with that a lot before I even got to where I was. So, having the underlying health issues and stuff like that at the age of like 28, that really, it took a toll on me. I really wasn't like paying. And the thing is, because and at the time too, I was working like 7 days a week. I was working a lot, two
mm,
jobs. So just trying to work for make sure I had things because I didn't have my parents or anything like that. Just that's a backstory. So, just constantly working and stuff like that. I just didn't have time for myself. So my health was just declining. And so was I mentally. I was living somewhere I didn't want to be at. I was ready for change. I was ready, to move. And so, I knew it that at some point I had to make a change. But it wasn't until I looked in the mirror one day I was like, bro, I'm not feeling what I'm looking like.
mm.
At the time, like I had just bought a pair of jeans, so they were probably like a size like maybe 13, 14, or something like that, around that. And I had just got them, and I feel like I'm about to bust out of these jeans again. But I
Mm,
remember just looking, like I remember where it was a Saturday. I remember exactly where I was about to go at. My friend at the time, he was having something for his, he's a coach, so he was coaching some kids for something, and I was about to go there, and I was getting ready to go. I'm just like, I'm getting ready. I'm like, I felt like I just felt so big, and like, and I already felt like I didn't like really love my body or myself. So that was like the top tier when I saw myself that day. So from that Saturday in October 2019, I started to make the change.
Yeah, that's actually pretty a pretty common story that I hear. We a lot of people say that they they'll say that they avoided cameras, mirrors, things of that nature, is like a subconscious thing. And then one day they see a picture of themselves. Maybe it's a candid picture, or they were kind of forced in a situation to take a group picture, a family photo, and they see this photo, and for the first time, they're like from an outside point of view, they're seeing what they look like. And they kind of think to themselves, how did I get here? How did I let myself get this way? And that has been one of the main motivators for a lot of the change. And you
Hmm.
mentioned, low self-esteem was something that came kind of along with this package. So do you think that where do you think the low self-esteem stemmed from?
That just came, I feel a lot of it came from me, like just growing up, honestly. I guess being around environments where, like, if you're not really used to being nurtured and stuff like that, like, I feel like, having your mom, I feel like I was like, like my mother, like, she go, like my mom, she gonna tell me that, she love me, like she thinks I'm beautiful, whatever. Like, I'm like, that's technically like her job or whatever it is, like that. But it's like it was never something that I truly like really believed. And
Mm,
because I didn't, it's going to be hard for other people to do it. And even when I was like a teenager, and I would say like, they're like, oh, you conceited, or like my close friends may have thought I was conceited. I really wasn't, so just growing up, not really getting like maybe like that nurturing feeling that I always needed or wanted. I feel like it really, came from that. And again, not me really truly believing it. And even in now that I lost the weight, it's still hard for me. Like, I'd rather not be in the spotlight. I don't really have too many pictures of like my body still. Like, I will take pictures of it, but that will kind of be it. I really won't let anyone take pictures of myself. So it's still something that I'm growing and learning to be, and step into.
hmm Yeah, dealing. So, I one of my beliefs. So, I like to teach from a holistic standpoint, right?
Hmm.
It's not just about weight. It's not just about physique. Those are like symptoms of core issues, and I like to highlight where people are, especially mentally, because I think that if you're not in a good place mentally, whatever that might look like, whether it's feeling like you're not being nurtured,
Hmm.
or depression, or just feeling like everything goes wrong, whatever the case may be, it also reflects in your physiology. And a
Hmm.
lot of people don't know that. They don't put those two together. um so, and then that becomes its own battle, right? Even now that you've corrected some of the physical ailments, you're still dealing with that, which is it's real. And I appreciate you being willing to share that, because I think it's important to be relatable. People can really relate. A
Hmm.
lot of people, I'm sure, are going through and dealing with what you're dealing with. But in spite of that, right, being able to kind of grab control of your health and wellness journey and make the change in spite of that, that's the key.
Hmm.
So I'm looking to figure out how how did you, with not really having the greatest mental base, how did
Hmm.
you stay motivated to do what you did? How did you even start learning the techniques to reverse the disease you dealt with and lose weight?
So one thing I stress, I went at my pace, and tell this to my clients and everyone: you gotta go at your pace. And a lot of times, and subconsciously, I really didn't understand that I was until I kind of look back at it. Until now, I was going at my pace. So
Mm,
once I made that decision to say, "Look, I'm going to get it together," because mind you, to reminder, I had just lost 40 pounds, well, 20 pounds back in 2015. So it wasn't like this is not something that I've done before. Like, my weight has always been up and down. I've
mm,
been committed and disciplined enough to lose weight. But what happens is, okay, what about maintaining it? So that was the part that I was missing. So mentally, but I was really digging into myself mentally as well. So one thing I did, I was writing affirmations. I'm really big on that. I journal a lot. So I was journaling. But one thing I did too as well is, I was committed to doing a certain amount of fitness a week. So I just started doing like 2 days a week for like 15, 20 minutes. And I listened to my body. If I was
mm,
too tired, that's it. If I feel like I can't get through this workout, then I would just stop it. Like, okay, it's too much. Um, and then what I would do too, I would challenge myself. So I love a challenge. So I would just be like, if it was a workout that I really couldn't physically get through, let's say it was 20 minutes, I'll go back and do that same workout each day. Each days that I would commit to until I was able to finish it. And then when I'm able to finish it, I'm like, okay, I didn't hit a new milestone. So that's kind of how I kept going, by pushing myself, challenging myself, also to affirming myself. And I took a lot of pictures as well, just to help to get in tune with myself, meditation as well, because throughout this journey, not only did I was working on myself physically, but mentally as well. So I found
Mhm.
other avenues to dig, really dig deep within myself to keep myself motivated. Plus, I knew that I wanted to get healthy. Like, I didn't have a goal weight in mind. I didn't really have like a more so of a look. I was like, I want to get healthy. I was adamant on not taking the medication. I wasn't taking it anyway. I was prescribed the high blood pressure medicine. I was dedicated and committed to not taking the medicine. So I knew, my health was important, because I had an uncle. He had to get a liver transplant from high blood pressure. My great grandmother, she lost her leg to diabetes. So these things plagued in my, in my family. So it's important
Mhm.
that I be the first to change it. So knowing that I wanted to be the first, I just kept pushing myself, challenging myself.
That's beautiful. That's I think so I have an exercise that I like to work, teach people, where you essentially look at the path that you're on currently. We call it the hell path. And you look at the outcomes that you're getting based on, what it is that you're doing. Part of that is looking at, your family and the path that your family has walked, whether it's mom, dad, grandma, whatever, and understanding that we tend to have the same diseases and issues that our elders have,
Mm,
because we're doing the same things. We're living in the same environment. I
right.
I had that fear as well. It was cancer for me. Cancer was like um, a big fear, because my uncle had passed away from cancer at like 50 years old, and he was the healthy one, right? He did marathons. He was bowling. He was
Mm,
he was very active, and somehow he still died of cancer. And I
right.
thought, okay, no matter what I do, I'm still going to have to deal with the fact that maybe cancer gets me at some point.
Right.
And so I think those things can be great motivators to understand that, putting your health is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I loved how you talk about pacing yourself,
Mm,
because a lot of people want to, jump out and kind of get the outcomes as quickly as possible, but pacing yourself and really just making this a me versus me thing, and not really, looking at what other people are doing, I think is key. Um, and then, you always hear in the gym, it's like no pain, no gain. So you're
mm-hmm.
like, yo, my body's telling me this is too much. We're gonna take it easy, but we're gonna keep attacking it every single day until we reach that goal. I love that tenacity. And I think people can really learn a lot from doing things in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So where did you learn about affirmations? Because I feel like that's not something that's taught culturally.
Mm-hmm.
How did you learn about affirmations and the power of them?
Honestly, well, what happened was I got my first reading. I've always been blessed to meet so many different people and meet three people. And so I had got my first reading through someone, and she's an elder of mine that I respect so much. So I got a reading through her. I was like 2017. I can't really remember my age, but it was like 2017. I remember her telling me, she's like, everything you want, you're going to get. And so from that point on, I mean, that was just a bit, that was like bits of it.
Mm,
But I took that with me from every point on. So I would write that down. Since then, I write it down every day. Everything I want, I will get. So I started to write that. And that was the first affirmation that I didn't even know that it was an affirmation,
right.
but that was just something that came to me just by me trying to step into myself. And so the more I got into it, and I really honestly didn't really know about affirmations until like the beginning of this year, honestly and truly. I've been saying affirmations for that long, but just stepping into my spiritual journey, it allowed me to really understand how words are powerful and how I've always been able to manifest the things that I want because I spoke it. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And I try my best to tell other women that, especially as well. Because words are spells. We don't really realize that how words are spells, and what people say and think, this is an energy drainer. You know what I'm saying? But this the same way you could be around someone they negative, it's the same way their words means a lot.
Mm,
So I had to realize what I speak is the same thing as what I think. So this year I kind of got more in depth with it. Like, I would write a whole page of affirmations each day. I'm writing a whole page. Sometimes I'm writing 3 or 4 pages in a day just to keep myself going. But affirmations is really truly powerful in the terms of just speaking life into yourself. And I try to make sure that I speak life into others as well. Even you say, "Hey girl, you look good," like, that's an affirmation to somebody else as well. You're giving them a compliment, you making them feel good. So not only do I try to do it with myself, but I try to give that same love to the next person as well, because you can just see how it changes their day and how your day changes when you start your day off with something, just affirming that you can do it. Like, that's confidence.
mm,
We need confidence. A lot of times we are afraid to be confident. We're too humble, and like, sometimes, no, you ain't got to be humble. Be confident to know that you can do this.
mhm. 100%. Yeah. Affirmations are so powerful. And I wanted to highlight that because um, before I ever was into health and wellness, I would study millionaires, because my
Mhm.
goal at that time was really just to be wealthy. I wanted to have a lot of money and, be the first person in my family that was really like rich.
Mhm.
So I'm studying the habits of wealthy people. And one of the habits of very wealthy, but really successful people is that they had affirmations. They didn't necessarily call it affirmations, but they would just describe their routine. They get up in the morning, they look themselves in the mirror. You're amazing. You're going to have a great day. Like, they would have a certain set of things that they would, put in themselves each day. And I started doing that as well because I wanted to, I figured I should mimic some of these habits and traits that they have. And then, fast forward, now I'm in the health and wellness and I'm doing these interviews. I'm talking to people, and the people that are successful almost always talk about positive reinforcement in some capacity.
Mhm.
I love the fact that you write yours down because people don't understand it. You generate more energy when you write things down. You
Mhm.
think it, you speak it, you write it down, and it becomes even more powerful. I know people get all weird about affirmation when they don't understand. Like manifesting and spelling, but it's like just because you don't understand something, or just because maybe you think you don't believe in something, doesn't mean that it doesn't believe in you. And so when people talk about the power of words, it's real, and it's important to be careful about what you say. And even if you were talking about like complimenting people,
Mhm.
compliments not only make somebody else feel good, but it makes you feel good as well. Like,
I
you
say.
get that reaction from people, which kind of feeds you as well. So I'm curious to know, since you've been kind of dealing with your weight up and down, um, what like how much did you weigh? I guess what was your biggest weight, and what were you able to achieve with your weight through exercise and some of the changes you've made?
So my biggest weight was 194. I was almost 200 pounds,
Oh,
194.
oh.
Um, and so what I was able to accomplish with my weight, I was able to accomplish a lot with my weight loss. And so I would like I it's kind of hard to kind of just because it's been like a lifelong journey because
Mhm,
I've been up and down with my weight. Like, I've lost weight, gained it. Like, in 2003, like 11, I had a cardio class in college. It's really how God puts you on your purpose, right? I had a cardio class in college. I lost weight without even trying. Then I
mhm,
gained the weight right back. I was got to like 178, and then I lost 20 pounds and got to 158. But then I gained back the 40 pounds so quickly. My
mm,
doctors thinking something is wrong with me and stuff like that. And so but with the 75 pounds though, like I said, I didn't have a goal weight in mind. But what I was able to do is to really just see how my body can like change. Like, I always say, don't get so caught up in how your body looks that you forget that it has to function for you as well. Okay, like, not only is like being healthy like a look, but it's I mean, you can't necessarily look it, but you feel it.
mhm.
feeling the difference between being heavier into, not just the weight itself, because the size really necessarily didn't matter, but just the person itself. I'm talking about the underlying health issues, the low self-esteem, just to be where I am now, where my body is just working for me, my digestive system, my acne. I used to have really bad acne. Like, I'm 30 years, 29, 28, in my late 20s with bad acne. Like, all those things have gotten reversed. Um,
Mm,
just how my endurance, like me being able to just wait. I mean, I've always naturally had energy, but now it really shows. I could do cardio forever, and I'm a cardio girl. I love cardio. I love dance. I love dancing and stuff like that. So just to see how my body has transformed with the toning, because I used to really hate my arms, and just to see how toned my arms are, like, it's just amazing how your body can transform once you treat your body right. And it doesn't take a lot to do that. I was able to do it from my home and using 3 to 10 pound weights. So it doesn't take a lot to get it doesn't take much to get a lot done. It's just you just taking the step, just one
mm.
step at a time, and then you'll be running.
So the consistency is really like the key here, because a lot of people think that you have to do like really elaborate things. You were fortunate to have the experience to see that you were able to, lose weight when you were
Hmm.
consistent with something, right? The weight dropped off, but
Hmm.
obviously, it sounds like you had a issue maintaining. So, what were you? What were you? How much weight were you able to lose once you kind of started maintaining? What was that?
So my first week though, like my first week, I was losing a pound a day, and that kept me going. Like,
Wow.
once I was losing a pound a day, I was like, "Whoa, I'm not playing." Like, I kept going, I kept going. But a lot of it though, because I was doing like 1,200 calories a day, so that I really wouldn't recommend that. Because you will starve yourself. I was, but it that's this journey allows you to get so connected to your body and yourself. It's truly amazing. So it's trial and error. So some things you gotta learn, and you gotta shift and stuff like that. So I wouldn't recommend 1,200 calories, no carbs, because it does mess with your digestive system and stuff like that. Carbs are needed in good portion and stuff control. But I was able to lose like a pound a day, but I've lost my first week. I hit my plateaus. Like, I feel like I will always hit my plateau once I got to once I lost like a good 10. So when I was trying to get the one, like getting the 180 was like, oh, I was hard. Like, once I get to that 179, I'm like, yay, it starts falling off. But I was able to lose like 60 pounds in 6 months. So I was
Wow.
losing like 2 pounds to like 1 pound a week. And like I said, like I gradually just added more. So I would add more calories. Like, I was really like really strict about what I was doing, because and then too, because I was working 7 days a week, I had to plan everything out. I had to prepare my meals, even prepare my snacks. Like, I was counting my grapes. If 20 grapes, I would put 20 grapes in a Ziploc bag. 15, like I was really sticking to the nutrition facts and the calorie intake, just to make sure that I was consuming the right things and stuff like that. So, um, it does take a lot of discipline, but your body will, like, I mean, in the beginning it is, and it doesn't have to be that strict, to a point. But I always tell, like, look at the nutrition facts, know what you're eating. And that's what I was doing, realizing what I was eating, how much I was eating, meal prepping. So it's amazing how your body can transform.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the word that I'm thinking of is intention. You were being intentional about what you were eating,
Hmm.
even though you were working and had life just like everybody else. You went out of your way to be intentional about what you wanted to do, and that helps tremendously. Because I think what happens is people, especially when it comes to plateauing, people get discouraged by plateaus.
Hmm.
And then there's this common theme that plateaus are like these insurmountable obstacles, but they're not. It's really just like paying attention to your body, understanding how it functions,
Yeah.
maybe figuring out why it's plateauing and how you can get around it. So I want to get like more granular and look at what it was specifically you were eating and what it was specifically you were doing, because you mentioned counting your 20 grapes and using the 3 5 pound weights. um if people were to want to like kind of mimic, just for example, what you were doing,
Hmm.
um, what was like a day or maybe a week in your life like? What were
Okay.
you eating? What were your exercises? How long were you exercising? Stuff like that.
So, one, if you busy like that, I always say prepare yourself. So Sundays will always be the day that I would. Well, I worked at a market, so it just happens to work out for me. So I always, figure out what I'm eating for the week, and I will go to the market. So Sundays will be the day that I will always prepare my meals for the week. I would normally always like prepare my meals for like month, like for like three, at least 3 to 4 days. Um, and so breakfast will always be something quick. I worked at a college at the time too, so I kind of had food around me, which was another thing. I had a lot of food and snacks, so it took a lot of discipline because I had so much snacks and stuff like
Mhm.
that around me. So in breakfast, I will always buy like I would. Breakfast was always oatmeal, and it tends to be something I eat now. Oatmeal was always the easiest thing to make. It's filling, doesn't take much, and it was what I would normally eat. Lunch will always be for me like something raw, a salad. So I might would add a protein to it and stuff like that. In the morning, I would also do omelets as well. I would do omelets in the morning, something like that. I would add shrimp maybe with it, vegetables and stuff like that. And then dinner will always be what I meal prep. So it will probably in the beginning I kept it strict because I wanted to build that discipline up. I didn't start adding like other things until I knew I had like the portion control. Um packed up. Like
Mm.
understanding and stuff like that. So I will always do a protein um, at the time because I'm vegan now. I would do a protein, a starch. Well, actually, no, I cut out carbs for, but like the first few months, I really couldn't understand why, like, I was having digestive issues. That's why I don't really recommend, but this is what I was doing.
Okay.
So so my starch would kind of be like cauliflower rice. So I would do like chicken. I would do like a protein and two vegetables or something like that. But then gradually on, I changed it up. So I would do like curry chicken. Like once I got to a certain amount. And Fridays and Saturdays Saturday will be the day that I would normally like fast. Um, so I would have to be to work at 5:30 in the morning. So I would drink coffee in the morning. I used to drink coffee every morning, and now I stick to tea. But I would drink coffee every morning to start my day, especially on Saturdays because I would be fasting those days. And then I would normally typically eat my like quote unquote cheat meal, but I didn't do a cheat meal until I lost 20 to 25 pounds. I challenged myself, like, you're not going to do a cheat meal until you hit a certain milestone so that you're not feeling like you're going to get off track. Because I think a lot of
Mm.
times we get these cheat days around family and stuff like that. That what causes it. But that's kind of what I did. I waited till I lost like 20 to 25 pounds, did the cheat day or cheat meal or whatever. And then Sunday, I would start my week back up and do it all over again. And then too, I had each time, so I wouldn't, and so I had my time set up where I would eat my meals as well. So breakfast was always between like 8:30 to 9, because I had to be to work at like 8:30. So between like 8:35, 9 o'clock, like between 8:30 and 10 a.m. was always my breakfast, and it still is now. Lunch will be between like 1 to 2, like 12 to 2, and dinner will be around like 5:30 to 6, because I live like right around the corner from where I worked at. So I would literally just go in a circle for work and stuff. So I always kept the times, and so I would eat dinner around like 5:30, 6 p.m. It was already prepared. I didn't have to do too much. Put it in the microwave, boom, bam, and then I would have my snack. I like to have a snack. I always have my novelty ice creams. I always stuck to that. And I also had like I always would drink like the little cans of soda as well. So I always say bend but don't break. You want to find ways to incorporate the things that you like into your diet. I mean, well, not your diet, but your regimen,
Mhm.
so that you're not giving up so quickly. So because this journey is not about what you're removing, but it's about what you're adding. What things can you add, what habits can you add to make your life a lot better for you. So I didn't want to get stuff feeling like I had to remove anything. I was just wanting to have incorporate healthier substitutes for myself. So I always had my 3 meals and my snacks in between. So my snack would be like around like maybe 7, 8, once I'm like you know like windling down for bed.
So I'm curious, did you have a certain time that you went to sleep as well?
Um, I mean, because I had to wake up so early, and a lot of times too, sometimes too, I will work out in the morning. So sometimes I will work out twice a day, just because I'm an early bird anyway. So I sometimes work up like 5 o'clock. So I will be in bed just naturally by 9:30, 10 o'clock, because I'm wore out. I'm a
Right.
morning person. I'm a morning person anyway, so I'm wore out. So I'll be knocked out anyway around like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and because I work so much anyway, I try to be in bed just to make sure I'm getting a full rest, because sleep is really a main part in your weight loss and
Hmm.
just day-to-day life anyway. Sleep is very, very important. Resting, getting your rest, like rest, it is not a reward. I used to think that resting is a reward, and it is not. It's mandatory. So please make sure you're getting sleep.
That's one when I like early on, I wanted to highlight sleeping. So I would do a couple videos talk about sleeping. We hear about sleeping or resting. With sleeping,
Mhm.
resting. We hear about it, but we don't. I don't think most people understand how important it is, because when you're sleeping, especially when you're getting good rest, that's when your body does all the repair work. All the nutrients and everything, everything you're doing, you put in your body, you're doing all this work. That's when the body starts to utilize it and really implement it. And so if you skip that part, you might hit plateaus, you might hit really, really slow spots, because you're not giving your body the resource it needs to actually implement the resources you're giving it. So I wanted to, because you like, oftentimes the smallest things in people's journey makes the biggest difference.
Mhm.
And the more nuance you get, the more you start to see, oh wow, because like for you going through it, you might look at it one way. You're like, well, I'm just, I'm doing XYZ. I'm doing a little trial and error. I'm figuring things out. But from the outside looking in, especially hearing this, in retrospect, you were very regimented. Like you were very like seriously, even the intention of allowing yourself to have your soda and little things, not going 0 to 100, which is an issue, a problem a lot of people make. Like this is all very, very important, and it's something that I've learned, and I teach as well, because people think, if I want to get this outcome, I mean, even with everything that you did, you still did it very quickly. 6 months is a very, very short period of time to lose that much weight. And I want to definitely talk about maintaining, like how you were able to maintain, because that was one of the issues that it seems like was reoccurring in your theme.
Mhm.
But I want people to pay attention to, like the intention, getting your meals ready on Sunday.
Mhm.
What I mean, especially if you have like a busy week, or if your schedule is just really tight,
Mhm.
having like prepping, proper preparation really helps. And then also staying focused, maybe. And then you didn't really mention this, but like people talk about not having enough time, but they spend all this time on their phone, on Instagram or
Right.
YouTube, just idle scrolling. And that's time that you could be pouring into yourself. So that's just a little tidbit people don't think about, how much screen time they waste. But
And not to cut your wisdom,
go ahead. Huh?
even this, I was sorry not to cut your wisdom, but even this, and this still while we're talking about this too, sleep has a lot, and a lot of times too, when you're trying to figure out why your gut is all messed up, or like
Mm,
you can't get your, especially for us women, where we're trying to figure out, well, I can't get rid of this gut, I'm gassy and stuff like that. Your sleep and your stress has a lot to do with that. That's why preparing, yourself for the week really does make a difference for yourself and your body. Because people would, well, how you keep your, like your waist so slim? That takes time. That takes that time for yourself. You
mm.
gotta learn how to create time. For yourself. Do not be afraid to get to sleep. Do not be, just figure out how you can create like your system. I know a lot of times we get scared of saying like, okay, how can I schedule it out? You think you can't do it when you really truly can. It's just you taking the time to do so. Just taking a little bit, like 15 an hour just for yourself, to prepare yourself for the week, will really, really give you a lot of results that you really didn't expect coming.
Oh yeah. I got into the habit of, like, my work days are very long, you know. I usually, I'm usually working 16 hours a day is pretty normal. But no matter how much I work, I literally always give myself like an hour or even more to unwind at the end of
Mhm.
the night. Like I always give myself that time to unwind because if you don't, you're cheating yourself. And there's been times when I haven't done it right in the past and my health declines significantly. And it happens because you're like you like hustling, you working, you doing, and then over time, slowly but surely, it's just eating away at you. And people don't, they have families, they have children, they have spouses, or whatever the case is, their job, their friends, everything comes before them, and then they wonder why they can't get the outcomes they desire. It's like because you
That's
spend
right.
no time on you. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I want to talk about how you were able to begin that process of maintaining, because
Mhm.
you're talking about yo-yoing a lot, 40 pounds up and down, 20 pounds up and down.
Mhm.
That has to be very frustrating and discouraging. So how were you able to maintain? Ultimately, what made it click? What were the changes you made that was like, oh, I can maintain and keep this going?
So going in, starting my journey, I had to make that decision because it's like you can either lose weight or you can get healthy, or be healthy. You gotta make that choice. And because I made a decision already to lose weight, I was able to do that. But maintaining, I had to come in and I had to start my journey. Okay, your intention is to be healthy. So with that, you have to make lifelong changes with that. You can,
Mm,
like you make changes for where you want to be, not where you are. So that's kind of where it started at. So with that, I just really just kept the same. I didn't stop because what happened was when I lost the 20 pounds before, I basically stopped everything that I was doing.
mm,
But this time around, because I wanted to really stop eating meat and really get more natural, and get my body more function a lot more better. I just had it and the way that my body was feeling was just I I just couldn't stop. So what kept me motivated was just how my body was feeling, and then the fact that I was helping other people as well throughout the process. So it's like, I gotta practice what I preach. I
mm.
gotta practice what I preach. I can't be out here doing this and then do it, the next thing. And I
Yeah.
just really was just getting so, inspired with myself and my own results. So that just really just kept me going and wanting to keep, you know, you know, and keep the process going. And because I meal prep, which I think is one of the best things that you can ever do, whether you start and stop, learning those proper portion controls really helped me a lot. Understanding, okay, Sunday, having my schedule set up, it allowed me to keep the same schedule regardless of how wherever I worked, and where I work for myself or work for home, or work for myself or work for a job. Like I had my schedule set up, and I kept that same schedule. I planned my before I go to the market. Okay, what meals are you going to make? You know what I'm saying? Like you know how much is too much. You know what I'm saying? So keeping
Mhm.
that type of mindset allowed me to maintain, especially to also staying active some way somehow, and being creative with that. I done worked out in front of a restaurant before trying to wait, trying to wait to get in. So I'm just saying, like, I mean, you don't gotta go as hard as me, but I'm just saying, just finding your ways. Like I walked while I was at work. So I just find ways to stay active, being out in nature, just doing things, parking far away from where you gotta go at in the market. Just walk around, do a couple laps around the market when going to the market. So
Mm.
just finding ways to stay active and just keeping those same that same routine that I started allowed me to be able to maintain it. I've been maintaining now for 2 years now, going on three.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You said a couple really key things. Um, the biggest takeaway for me is making this. Are you looking to lose weight or are you looking to get healthy? Because this is what I see um, in our community. A lot of people they really want to lose weight. Like that's like the driving force, and it's like losing weight and getting healthy aren't the same thing. I tell people all the time, like, because they're always asking me, Chris, what's the fastest way I could lose weight? I'm like, cut off your arm. You could probably lose like 20 pounds. You know what I'm saying?
You
Like,
prepared us. I don't know. I don't know why we want to rush it. Like, you with your body for a lifetime. Why you want to rush it? Like, you're not going unless you plan on going somewhere. Unless you plan on leaving us anytime soon. Why are you rushing this process? Like, just
yeah.
go along with it. I think with women we tend to forget. Like, especially if you used to work out. If you used to work out all the time and then you stop, you gotta imagine what your body is now going through.
Mm,
Just you feeling, but just imagine what your body is going through and then having to recover from that and start all over again. So that's why you have to be patient with yourself and your body, allowing it to go through these changes, but then treating it good throughout the process so it can do what you want it to do.
hmm.
A lot of times we want to focus on having a big butt and a fat stomach, but that's not just, like, again, you can't get so caught up in how your body looks that you forget that it has to function, because the way that it functions is the most important. You gotta think our heart is pumping all day. Look, our brain, like, we got to do things to help keep it in motion and keep it in good, in good graces. So, we stress ourselves out about little things and stuff like that. So just trying to maintain that feeling of like feeling good, again,
Mm,
because like being healthy is not just a look, but it's you feel it too, and
hmm.
once you get it, it's like it's amazing, how you feel. You wake up feeling fresh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, especially for us women, when we get us, like, especially how our cycles would change. My cycle has changed a lot in such a, a better, way. Your skin, you're glowing, it's like, it's such an amazing feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. I did want to touch on that a little bit more because I feel like these are things that are important to women, people in general, but like people want to have clear skin.
Hmm.
And like one of the things that people would say about me as I was going, because they got to watch me go through my health journey, especially early on. You could see how blotchy my skin was and stuff like that. And what do you think was the key to like being able to clear your skin up and being able to have like lighter cycles? What was the, because like exercising isn't necessarily going to do that. What do you think was the key?
Removing meat. I feel like a lot of times our body tells us what's going on, but it's minor things, but we don't really recognize it. So acne, especially after a certain age, you having acne certain places on your body and stuff like that. That's a sign, especially if it's certain places is telling you certain bodies, like, certain parts of your body part needs attention, certain places, and so I will always have it around my cheek area.
Mm,
And so and then it will be really in it, and stress too. Stress can cause acne as well. But it would just really just be dark, and I'm like, oh, it really would get to me. So once I transitioned to being vegan in like in sections, like, well, in stages. So I went to eating meat once a day, to being pescatarian, to be a vegetarian, to being vegan. I'm good at going at steps, so I did it in steps, and so I kind of felt how my body would go. So each time I felt the change of like, okay,
mm,
eating meat once a day, okay, I feel different. My skin's still going crazy, but whatever. But once I hit like the vegetarian part, and I start using more natural products. Like, I stopped using deodorant and stuff like that. I stopped
mm,
using, just really harsh products on my skin, because I would notice that a lot of my, my body, I would get acne all over my body. So I realized a lot of the products that I was using, even though it smelled good, it really wasn't the best for my body. Um, and so with the acne itself, I stopped eating meat and my skin just cleared. I started using more natural products like aloe vera. I make a turmeric. I make my own turmeric swash that I put on my face every other day, or a couple of days out the mask, my own turmeric mask, and I put oil on my face and stuff like that, and my skin just it glows.
yeah.
So um, I feel like the meat elimination, it did it for me. Once I stopped eating meat, it's like my body just like my skin was like, okay, thank you.
Right. I've been stressed trying to process this meat. And like people sometimes they like get a little upset because obviously keto is very popular right now, carnivore is
Mhm,
popular, and people have seen benefits from eating meat in that way. And what I like to stress to people is the quality of your food matters tremendously.
mhm,
Obviously people can do different things to get different results. So people, they it's funny how people get so upset when you it's not even attack. We don't not even attacking anybody's diet. Like we're literally just talking about what worked for us, and they feel
Yeah.
attacked. Like what meat, veggies don't work for everybody. I'm just like, I mean, they really do, but um, you can eat. The quality of your food matters. So as you transition from meat, I love how you talk about the transitional period because a lot of people try to they hear, right? Maybe they watch an interview, they see Jasmine, they see her skin, she glowing. She's like, yeah, I don't eat meat. So now they're like, okay, I'm gonna stop eating meat tomorrow. And they miss the part where you transitioned.
Right.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
should have said.
Because you chose health over the weight loss. So the goal is create a lifestyle that is going to help you maintain the results that you're getting. And then
Mm-hmm.
that's how you get your weight snatched and it stays snatched. Like you don't got to worry about it because now you have a lifestyle that promotes a certain physique or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you about the fasting because you had mentioned fasting a little bit, and we teach fasting primarily on AHA. That's like our fundamental technique.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what? How did you get introduced to fasting? I know you said you were fasting like once a day. What type of fasting were you doing? How long were you fasting? Talk a little bit more about that.
So I was doing fasting for more so. Well, one, fasting does allow your body to kind of like rejuvenate. I kind of That's one thing that I do appreciate about fasting, especially for like it gives your body time to rejuvenate. So on
Mhm.
Saturdays, it just allowed my body to kind of like really just like relax a little bit, get things out. So I will go at least like 8 to I was working like 9 hours shift. So probably between 8 to 10 hours I wouldn't eat on Saturdays.
Mm.
I try to keep the same thing going. Like I just did a fast probably a couple of days ago where I would like fast for like the first half of the day, eat a little bit, fast for the second half of the day. And so I would kind of like do it that way and detox in the process. So
Mm.
for me, fasting has always been like a spiritual way for me to connect to my spirit guides and stuff like that. That's another situation that as well. But I do really feel like fasting does just gives your body a chance to rejuvenate. So that's what I really was doing it for as well as spiritual and just giving my body a chance to rejuvenate and stuff like that, especially since going so hard throughout the week and keeping, certain things. And a lot of times too, if I feel like I had like I had a day where I'm eating too much or something like that, I would really fast just to give my body that chance to like just like restart.
Yeah.
I feel like fasting gives your body like how you turn the computer off when it's acting crazy. That's what fasting gives a chance for your body to do. Is what I really appreciate. So the weekends tend to be like that time where I get to do that.
Yeah, that's a very good approach. That's a very good approach. You touched on a nice broad broad benefits of fasting. It definitely helps with spiritual enlightenment. Um, rest was that's a very powerful word. You know, rest, giving your body, especially when you talk about digestive health and things of that nature,
Mm-hmm.
like giving your body an opportunity to rest, not just necessarily going to sleep, but rest from processing all of this food that we consume. I don't
Yes.
think people realize how like hard that is on the body, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So having that level of see the thing I think that's so important to highlight about your journey is the level of intention cuz a lot of people they don't even consider, oh, I should let my digestive system rest. I've been eating cuz even if you're meal prepping you're eating healthy, that the it's still doing work, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
And then, of course, that balance of mental, physical, spiritual, and making sure that you are feeding each part of yourself so
Mm-hmm.
that you can be balanced is just so important.
Yeah.
Um, one other thing that I wanted to highlight too about what you said earlier was as you were going through this process, you know, obviously it probably started with just you doing this for you, but at some point you started seeing the benefit and you want to start sharing it with other people.
Mm-hmm.
And that was also something that helped keep you going. Um, this is why I think community is important, you
I
know, building
say.
community or
Mm-hmm.
finding like minded people. because when I was going through my journey early on, I had my brother, and he
Mhm.
was pretty much locked into whatever I was doing. We were doing it together, and it really made a difference in my success.
Mhm.
So for people who maybe don't have somebody in their personal life that's on that same level, being able to come, lock into a community where they
Mhm.
could stay motivated and, what I mean, just interact with people, I think that's huge.
Of course.
So what have you built now with your knowledge and your experience? Because one of the things that I picked up from you is that you like to help other people. So in what way do you help other people, and what platform do you kind of use? Like, tell us a little bit about that.
So during the process, and because it was like my third time, I kind of like this time what makes it so. And let me just say this before I go into that. Whenever you feel like okay, I'm going up and down, up and down. Whenever you start over, you're starting from experience, so that's even better. Like
Mm,
that's the best thing you can do is start from experience. So because I was helping so many people throughout the process, um the health part really didn't really stick into me. I was the fitness thing, the love of fitness came with it first.
mhm,
So I really just wanted to be a group fitness instructor. But with all my so I was doing trainings and stuff like that. You gotta invest in yourself. I
mm,
was invested in doing different trainings and stuff like that. So on the training, the girl, the lady was like, somebody was like, well, look at you in here, like you're coaching everybody, and I was like, you know what? I'm a coach. I think I'm a coach. I think I could just be a coach. And so
mm,
it worked out because I never really knew how, and even throughout the process, I was helping people. They was like, like you're so motivational, you're so inspirational. I'm like, okay, people, that's what I'm saying, like not knowing who you are. But it allowed me to, really step into my purpose, which is so beautiful about this journey. That's why, getting to know yourself and your body. And so it's so rewarding. So I stepped into my purpose. And so I've been able to build, like a fitness brand. I've been doing it now for like a year. I've been coaching now for a year, but I've been blessed to work with, so many women that's uh, older than me. That's another thing. I've been helping to help women that's older than me, and some few ladies my age as well. Like some of my friends and stuff like that who has children and want to transform their body as well. But for the most part, I've been able to help and transfer women that's older than me, and not just the whole physical, like just not just like fitness wise, but just mindset wise too. Because a lot of times when you get older, you tend to forget about who you really are. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? Like you said before with wife, your wife, your mom, your wife, your mom. You got so many titles, but
mm,
then like you tend to forget that you're still that person. Like, yeah, you are a mom, but you're still. I'm just saying my name. Like you're still Jasmine. Like you're still whoever you are. You
mhm,
still like things outside of being a mom. But and I don't have children, but just being able to be virtually and seeing them with their kids and the kids is dancing and they're like it's just been such a rewarding feeling and journey just to be able to help so many women and coach them through their journey because weight loss is such a it's a very gentle it's a gentle process. And so, and then I want to mention too, if you feel like you don't have anyone do your journey, I will recommend, you know, um, possibly like adding yourself in fitness groups and weight loss groups and stuff like that for support. Because when I started, I really didn't have anyone that was with me on the journey. I just kept myself going and stuff like that. And people at work were wanting some help and they were seeing me do it, so they wanted. But like my close
mm,
friends and family, they wouldn't they would work out sometimes, but it wasn't consistently like how I was. So I was on
mhm,
a journey by myself, but I added myself in these different like black fitness groups and black weight loss groups and stuff like that to help keep myself going. Seeing women that's like 50, 60 years old and they just is toned up and looking like you, that's inspiration.
mhm. Yeah, it's important to see what we're capable of. Um, when you think about children, like as children develop, if a very young child, maybe 2 or 3 years old, is around an older child, they develop faster because they can see what they're capable of before they even realize it in the older child,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that still rings true as when we're adults,
Yeah.
because like they like society tries to trick us into thinking that we aren't capable. Like
Yep.
that's like the goal, society
Mm-hmm.
goal. They want to keep you. They want to make sure they can control you and stuff. So they make you think you're not capable, period, of anything. And then
Yeah.
you see somebody and you're like, oh, well, if he could do it, I could do it. It's
I
just like
said.
when the first time that the 4 mile, somebody broke that 4 minute mile
Mhm.
and no one could do it. No one could do it. Boom, someone breaks it. And then all of a sudden, all of these people break it. You know
Okay.
what I
Yeah.
mean? Because it's they can see that it's possible now. And it's a really important key to this
Mhm.
journey. Um, I that quote, whenever you start over, you start from experience. I That is so powerful. People people don't understand, like, your all of your failures and everything, it all plays a part in your overall success. You
Mhm.
know, you look at like really famous sports players and stuff like that. Michael Jordan is one of the biggest examples of this. Everybody talks about the game winning shots he
Mhm.
hit, but they don't talk about he was also one of the most missingest players ever. He missed so many shots, but no one even remembers the shots he missed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But every
Mhm.
shot he missed was a building block to
Yep.
the person that we know as one of the greatest basketball players of all time. And
Mhm.
so when you're on your weight loss journey, you're up and down, you're on your health journey, you're stuck, you can't figure this out, whatever. It really inspires growth and development and change. And then the beautiful thing is when you go through it like that, you can teach it.
I
You know what I'm
said.
saying? So, and then the other thing that you said that people need to hear: invest in yourself. Like, once again, going back to my example with really successful people, financially successful people, they're always willing to invest in themselves. It's
Mhm.
like if you have a goal in mind, whatever that goal is, if you're not willing to invest in yourself, then why do you deserve it? Like, what makes you think that you should be able to achieve something that you're not willing to invest in?
I
It could
said.
be time. It could be practice of abnegation, and what I mean, maybe like not being on your phone for 2 hours every day, or not spending time, not maybe going on dates all the time, or it could be investing in a coach or a course or whatever the case may be. But it's
Mhm.
like, if you're serious about it, you should be willing to invest in it. So
Mhm.
those are really good. So tell me about what you offer. So you became a coach. Oh, the other thing I like too, because this is basically how it worked with me. As
Mhm.
you start finding as you start your health journey, for
Mhm.
some reason, people tend to find their purpose
I
through
said.
focusing on their own health and wellness. And
Mhm.
so now you're coaching. So what is it that you offer? How can people connect with you? I want people to be able to reach out to you if they're really inspired by your video.
Amazing. So, I am offering one-on-one coaching as well as group coaching. I got a 13-week program that I have got going on right now, and I also will be doing a move your body challenge for the month of January. I know they say don't really start too many things in January because it's still cold, so it's hibernation.
Mhm.
Like I say, you gotta follow nature. But just to get, things started, get your body moving, I have a 30-day move your body challenge starting January the 9th. But you can follow me on Instagram at say it fitness underscore. So say is spelled with two A's and two Y's. So SAAYY it fitness underscore. And you can follow me on Say It Fitness on Facebook as well too.
Okay,
Oh yeah, my website is sayitfitness.com. Sorry.
say if it's all spelled the same way, right?
Yes, SAAYY. My business is actually named after my little brother, so shout out to my little brother.
Shout out,
Mm.
little bro. Yeah, challenges are amazing. Group coaching is amazing. I actually, as I was developing my brand and everything, I'm like, man, what's the best way to approach this? And so earlier we were talking about, being around like-minded people. When
Mhm.
you have these group coaching sessions and these challenges and stuff, the synergy, which I'm sure that you could speak to, the synergy in these things is off the charts. And
Yes.
so it really just helps to I think it helps for people who have never accomplished XYZ, whatever that might be. It
Mhm.
helps them to see. how diverse the group is and how everybody is being successful. And it's like, well, I can be successful too,
Mhm.
you know? So y'all need to make sure to check out Say It Fitness on all platforms.
Yeah.
If you if this interview is resonating with you, make sure to hit that like button. This has been incredible. This has been incredible. I really appreciate you coming and sharing a little bit different because I don't talk about fitness as much on this channel. And
Mhm.
I
I
think that
see.
it's very important. It's
It
very
is.
important.
It
But,
is.
I like to stay in my lane. You know what I mean?
As
I
you
think,
should, as you should. And I was like, when I looked on your when I looked, I'm watching, I'm like, okay, everyone was fasting and stuff like that, like, water fasting and stuff like that. Like, I don't know too much of that, but I still wanted to, I'm so thankful that I've been able to share, my journey, and hopefully it does inspire and help other people. Like, please know that fitness is just as important as anything in your
Mhm,
life. And you can just start by walking. Don't think you got to start with, because I know it's so much information going on out there on Instagram, and they got these tight shorts on and they press it all hard. They look. I was just using 3 pound weights. Look
mhm,
at my arms, look at my shoulders. You can do anything. You can be and do anything. Please know that. Okay, just
mhm.
make the step, and God got you after that. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, you look good too, by the way.
Thank you. Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, it's I don't it's not, you don't got to do that much because basically I think people in the past, like we think about our ancestors, all they really did was live life. They didn't go to the gym. The gym is a new concept.
They really
So
did.
it
So how
doesn't
did they stay fit? Like,
how did
come
they
on.
stay fit? Like,
Listen, all you need is
lifestyle.
your living room. I did it in
Yeah.
my living room. I did it in my. You can go in your living room, you go in your room, whatever room you feel comfortable at. I more so like working out at home because I just feel more comfortable. And then if I get to the gym, I don't worry about what everybody else is doing. There's too much equipment. My head gets to spinning. So you get to have fun in the comfort. Like the comfort of your own home. So you can do anything. Just please know that. Just get your health right. Just be intentional, one step at a time. And before you know it, you'll be running.
Oh, you're gonna be running. You're gonna be running, running.
Ready, ready.
All right, y'all. Listen, if you enjoyed this interview, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, go check Jasmine out, inquire about, all the services and everything. Maybe join her challenge is starting January 9th.
Yeah,
Let's get moving. All right. With that being said, don't forget the application of knowledge is power, and we will see you all next time.
thank you.